WrestlingN'Shit with Malik Gaines
and Jason Wells.
Today we're doing top 5 WWE feuds of 2016. Overall, quite a few feuds have kept my attention this year, and 5 just happened to shine above the rest.
These 5 are probably the cream of the crop, like the best this year. Like this year had a few like standout feuds. I think there's a lot more that we could put into our honorable mentions that would be nice. There's enough feuds with potential that could be mentioned, but these 5 are the ones that really shine the most.
Number 5, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. It's a continuation of their 2015 feud when Kevin Owens debuted back in NXT. It was pretty good. I wish I could have saw more promos from them since like how good of a talker Kevin Owens is. That's kind of like one of my one complaint with the feud was it wasn't enough promo work.
I did like the interactions between them pretty much on either Raw or pay-per-view, in-ring, out-of-ring. I love all the interactions they did have. I really liked at WrestleMania in the ladder match. Their interactions in the match where it pulled itself aside from the match, and you knew that there was a rivalry between the two of them going on. And, oh yeah, they both won the Intercontinental title as well. I really like that aspect of the rivalry, is where you knew that they didn't like each other. Both characters portrayed that very well.
Yeah, I love that Extreme Rules where the match started with Sammy Haluva kicking Kevin. Like, that was gold. Like,
that was wonderful.
Just keep putting emphasis on like that beef, like while other people are still in the match as well. Like, I love like at the end of the match, like where they stop paying attention about the match and they just want to beat the shit out of each other.
It seemed legit. They brought that intensity. They have excellent charisma. They really bring the best out of each other. So as many times they say this is the last time you see them face off, I'm not mad when it's a lie. Like I don't get mad anytime they face off, even if their rivalry isn't technically ongoing anymore. But it's kind of one that seems like it's not really an ending rivalry. It's just it was a feud at a period, but it's gonna come back.
Yeah, they were saying that. It was like they're bound to fight forever because like I always do when I talk about Kevin Owens. Have you seen their Ring of Honor feud?
I have not.
So fucking good. Like, this feud is great, but that Ring of Honor, that like the Kevin Steen El Generico feud is the best feud of 2000 of this decade to me. That feud was that was a flawless feud. So check that out. It's pretty good. And I even love like it was like on just episodes of Raw like they just run out and attack each other just all the time. There was just a lot of like bitterness between the two of them.
They cost each other a lot of things. So, like, on top of already having their hatred, it intensified. Like, from week to week, one will cost each other this match or that match, and they'd have matches and, like, they're ending in no contest. It's just, you always wanted to see their match come to an end, and it never really mattered who won, in my opinion. I love both wrestlers. I like Kevin Owens significantly more, but it's not a time where Sammy beats KO and I'm really mad about it.
Yep. Number 4, Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This feud, it's been like some of my favorite stuff from NXT this year. Because like I love like William Regal's like involvement in the feud. Because William Regal is probably the best general manager in the company right now.
Easily.
And just like Joe being like just like he was like the pissed off guy that lost his belt when he felt like no one should be able to touch him. Like he felt like Shinsuke was an unworthy competitor, and to lose to somebody that you feel is unworthy. Like he felt like Vegeta to me. Like just like that high level of arrogance just to still get your ass whooped.
I've never seen that comparison, but it really does work. And I was really just thinking that Shinsuke Nakamura is a fucking anime character. Just like everything about him to me is just some brutal as anime character, and you put him against this big monster of a guy. Like I really look at their match in Japan, the match they had in Japan, actually, and it was perfect when Shinsuke took the title off of Joe. Like, it was a perfect thing of in Japan, everyone's really behind Shinsuke, the crowd's kind of dead for Joe, which I think he liked. Like it's the excellent atmosphere of this rivalry. It feels bigger than anything to me on any NXT, and a lot of stuff going on in the main roster. It feels big. Like this is not. It can't end this year. Like this has to happen again on the main roster. It's perfect, and it really feels like to just be molding into what it's the rivalry's going to be.
Yeah, it's very, very intense contest. So, but yeah, hopefully one of them gets called up by the beginning of next year.
Or both.
That'd be awesome.
Too much.
And number 3, The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. We reviewed this feud early, about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. Just, I'm a huge fan of this bout between the two of them. Like, every match they've had against each other has been stellar. The promo work has been excellent. Like, Dolph Ziggler, it's, feeling like he felt like the underdog in this feud, which I don't like Ziggler to have to be an underdog. Like, he's a 2-time world champion. He's been a main event guy somewhat before. At this point in his career, he shouldn't be considered an underdog.
He plays it well, though. He plays it so well.
But I like cocky Ziggler more, and I like cocky faces because they have an edge to him. I feel like Ziggler, I still think he needs that. He needs more confidence, and for you to be the show off, you shouldn't feel like an underdog.
I agree with you overall for Ziggler. For this rivalry, though, this is actually one of the things I actually like about this rivalry, is the character Ziggler's playing v. Miz. For Miz's character, he got all the cocky. I don't think Ziggler can pull as much cocky as Miz with Maurice. I don't think he can top that. So the stark contrast as a guy who's really trying to work for something, he's showing that working man's energy versus the guy like, I'm Hollywood, I'm already here, I've been here for the longest, and I've done more. Significantly, he's been more relevant than Ziggler. Although Ziggler is the better in-ring worker, I think even still.
Yeah.
And
he is.
And this contrast is what made this rivalry, this feud work so well. And Miz is on fire. It helps that Miz is just on fire. Miz is one of the best heels, if not the best, my personal favorite heel in the company right now.
He's the best heel in the company.
And Ziggler is a good face. He can play multiple types of faces. I agree that I like cocky Ziggler more, and I think they could have some excellent promo work if Ziggler did take more of that character. But I get why he's more the underdog, even when he shouldn't be, since he actually, I think, has held about as many titles as Miz, and some bigger accomplishments like Survivor Series wins.
Yeah, so, like Ziggler's held that IC belt a lot of times.
They're equal now.
Yeah. So, but like I said, like Maurice getting involved in all the feuds, all the matches, the Spirit Squad coming back, the documentary, it's just been great. I love that ladder match, the low blow. I love that Miz didn't need Maurice's help to win that match. That was like the final chapter. It showed that the Miz can do it on his own. Yeah. That was very important.
I also like one ending with a heel going over. I love that because you don't see it often, and it's the title. It's the Intercontinental title. It's all for that title, and it's one of my favorite titles. So it's such a beautiful thing to see how well they're taking care of the title with that feud. Yeah,
like compared to where that belt was a couple years ago, hell, last year, it just shows you like how much it came back. The U.S. title, not so much.
It's in the dead zone.
Yeah, it's suffering right now. Cena did all he could. Roman came and fucked it up. I like Rusev with the belt. Give it back to Rusev. But we'll talk about that another day. All right, number 2, AJ Styles versus John Cena.
When you have the man, John Cena is the guy in the company. If you don't watch wrestling, don't know anything about wrestling, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, John Cena.
He's part of the Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about John Cena and what this rivalry means when a rivalry has John Cena involved. What you're talking about is what does it mean for that other guy.
But this felt a lot bigger to me than John Cena's previous feuds that he's had recently. I feel like this one, it's a modern day Hogan versus Flair. Like you got a guy, you got the WWE guy, he's the man there.
Yeah.
And then you got the other guy who went everywhere else and was the man there. So just to finally see those two icons collide like that. The Money in the Bank match, like I said in a video before, a review before, Cena had ring rust in that match. That match was nothing compared to the SummerSlam one. The SummerSlam one is arguably match of the year. Promo work between those two was excellent. Like every promo I saw between the two of them, just good stuff. The beat up John Cena thing.
Cena seemed challenged. Because with previous booking with Cena, he may have been challenged, but it didn't really seem like it in booking. This is the first time where he seemed challenged, seemed like a threat to Cena. but you don't know, and that's the thing. AJ's a guy who's really breaking the fourth wall and saying, "But I'm better than Cena."
Yeah, he flat out said like this isn't just about like yeah, he said like you bury guys like me. Wonderful, he was like, and he said like I can wrestle circles around you. Like that's 100% factual. It like, is. Yeah, like you said, he broke the fourth wall,
and it was excellent. It's AJ Styles. Cena is an excellent mic worker, so you put him in a rivalry, a feud, it's going to be excellent off of his mic work alone. Heel AJ brought his mic work to another level. So you have these two guys, these two giants, like really going at it in like what could have been a WrestleMania caliber rivalry and match, and you just getting in the SummerSlam match itself is really like, I'm trying to avoid saying phenomenal, but that's flat out what it was. Like, it was phenomenal from both competitors.
Yeah, just great storytelling, like the facial expressions. I love when John Cena hit that AA. It's like the second AA he did in the match on AJ. Like he was certain that AJ lost, and like when AJ kicked out, like that the disbelief on John Cena's face. Like I love when wrestlers just when they can tell a story just like with their facial expressions. That's like an underrated talent that we kind of ignore when it comes to wrestlers. Yeah. Is that the story that they tell without using words.
Cena top tier ring psychology?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's been in too many main event bouts to not be a master of psychology at this point.
Yeah, the crowd in any Cena match is going to be involved. And in this one, like when Cena seemed shocked that he didn't pin AJ, the crowd thought the match was over as well. The crowd was so involved until you had to get your emotions and your feelings involved, and you didn't know what was going to happen.
And even the aftermath, like where like Cena was gone for a while, like just off beating Cena, like he got crowned the new number one contender. He didn't have to fight anybody for that number one contendership. They just gave it to him, and like it made perfect sense. Like he walked around with with John Cena's headband and
armband,
armband, and used it as a headband.
Brilliant.
He stole his catchphrase, "The face that runs the place." It was just great Brilliant. Stuff. A couple honorable mentions: American Alpha versus the Revival.
Yeah, wonderful. I think the Revival and American Alpha may be the two best, or at least the top 3 tag teams in the company, and you just let them just go at it and just tag team glorious bliss. It's just wonderful matches.
That was the one honorable mention. All right, and number 1. We all kind of saw this coming. Charlotte versus Sasha Banks. We just reviewed it like 2 weeks ago, but hey, let's talk about it some more.
It's revolutionized an entire company. The women have never been more relevant in WWE ever. No woman's ever, I think, been as relevant as Charlotte and Sasha. There's been few missteps other than maybe 2 frequent title changes, but I think it overall goes to the story that's being told with the title and the rivalry in the division. So I can't be that mad at that, but that might be one complaint is too many Raw title changes, but other than that, there's been no missteps.
It kind of feels like that there's no clear cut person that's like above. You know what I'm saying? There's no superior person. They got each other's numbers. Like they've beaten each other and lost to each other the same amount of times. So I think that's cool.
Yeah,
I think that's very cool. So just I do want to see like where the women's division goes after this. I'm saying like they've been doing this for months. Like roadblock, end of the line. You got to say the whole thing. The Iron Woman match, it has to close the show out. I think that's gonna be the best match that they've done so far. The no rematch clause thing is great because like they said, like there has to be a finale eventually. So finally we get that. And yeah, like it's gonna be a match of the year contender, I feel like.
You get 30 minutes with 2 of the best wrestlers in the company to just go at it. I like that Iron Man matches are as rare as they are. So when they happen, they're special. The fact that they gave this to these 2 women makes it that much more special. It's a 30-minute match. It has to close out the night because it's 30 minutes. This is a long match. People are going to be tired after this match. You have to close out with this. You let them close out the year since they've had, let's go, the best rivalry of the year. There's no reason they won't close out the match. The match is going to be the best match of the night, probably the best of the year, or at least a contender. I think Sasha should retain, personally. so it doesn't look too uneven. And it's also more monumental when she finally beats Charlotte at a pay-per-view. She's never been beaten at a pay-per-view for a title.
Yeah, because like even though like Sasha currently has the belt, when I'm thinking Raw Women's Champion, I'm still thinking Charlotte. I need like Charlotte has to, like, she's beaten everybody. She has to put Sasha over fully. I feel like just to show that it's not just Charlotte and Sasha in the top, like in the title picture. Like we can have Sasha fight somebody else. We can get that Sasha Bailey again.
Charlotte should lose to add more to her character. I think a loss here would add much more to her character without even doing something as drastic as fantasy booking a double turn here somewhere at the end. Because I would love to see heel Sasha versus Bailey, honestly, and then let Charlotte do whatever as a face. Maybe put her against Nia Jax. Who knows? I think Charlotte could go face, but her heel's too excellent, so that's not necessary. But add something to her character by a loss here. Give her something else to do not related around the Women's Championship. Add more to her because she's dominated the Women's Championship. She doesn't even have to be there right now. And she'll be right back there probably by WrestleMania, but it's because it's hers. I really think at this point.
That about sums it up. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Wrestling and Shit.